welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really common question for anyone thinking about home ownership. Should we build a house or should we, buy one that's already standing?
Right.
Maybe you feel like Sarah, a first-time buyer, just overwhelmed by it all. Or maybe David, whose family is growing and needs space but isn't sure about waiting for a new build.
Yeah, it's a huge decision.
Especially now, right?
Yeah.
The housing market still feels, well, a bit crazy. Lots of opinions flying around.
Definitely. And that's why we're here. Our mission today is really to cut through all that noise.
Okay.
We've gone through our sources, pulled out the key insights to help you and people like Sarah and David really understand the pros and cons, the stuff you might not think about initially.
So you can figure out what's genuinely best for you, for your family, your situation.
Exactly.
We've basically unpacked real experiences, solid info to give you a clear guide. So let's dig in.
Let's do it.
Maybe we start with building a house. That feels like the dream for a lot of people, doesn't it? Total control. But when you look past just picking out, I don't know, countertops and paint colors, what are the sort of surprising upsides that come up in the research?
Well, yeah, customization is the obvious draw. You get to decide everything, floor plan, fixtures, finishes, colors, make it totally yours.
Right.
But what's interesting is how that control goes beyond just looks. It's also about, future-proofing your home.
Ooh, how so?
Well, some sources show homeowners putting in smart home tech right from the start, or designing layouts, thinking about, maybe parents moving in down the line.
Ah, okay, multi-generational living.
Exactly. And that kind of planning, it can actually lead to higher appraisals later on, maybe even lower insurance costs. It's not just about the paint chips,
That's a really good point, something maybe people don't think about up front. So beyond the design stuff, what about the practical day-to-day things with a new build? Is new really worry-free for, years?
Well, worry-free might be stretching it, but one huge practical benefit is definitely less maintenance, at least initially. I mean, you've got brand new appliances, a new roof, new HVAC system. All that stuff should last for quite a few years.
Right. Less chance of a big repair bill right after moving in.
Exactly. Compared to an older home, it's a big difference. And then there's energy efficiency.
Ah, yes, the utility bill.
Big time. New homes are built with the latest energy efficient systems. Think better windows, like double or triple pane.
Better insulation.
Yeah, superior insulation, maybe spray foam. Energy Star appliances, efficient heating and cooling, all that can really lower your utility bills.
By how much, typically?
It varies, of course, but some estimates suggest 20–30% lower energy costs compared to older homes. That adds up month after month, year after year.
Okay, those savings are definitely appealing long term.
Yeah.
But let's flip to the downsides now. The cons of building.
Yeah.
What's the biggest one people run into, I'm guessing? Cost.
Oh, yeah. That's really the big one, the number one factor.
How big are we talking?
On average, the sources suggest it costs about $150,000 more to build a new house than to buy an existing one.
Wow. $150,000 more? That's significant.
It really is. And that average figure, it doesn't even capture everything.
What do you mean, like hidden costs?
Exactly. Think about the cost of the land itself that shot up in many places. Or finding and paying for skilled builders. Permitting, inspections. Those fees alone can add up to tens of thousands before you even break ground.
Jeez.
It just reinforces that old saying, Building usually costs way more than you think.
And takes longer than you think.
And takes longer. We heard from one person, they budgeted really carefully, but then they found a soil issue. Unexpected $20,000 for the foundation, plus a 2-month delay.
Ugh, that's tough.
It's those kinds of unknowns. You really need a good cushion in your budget, a significant one.
So it's not just the price tag you see initially. And what about wiggle room? Can you negotiate when you build, like you might with an existing home?
Almost none. That's another key difference.
Wow.
When you buy an existing home, you can often negotiate on the price, maybe get the seller to cover some closing costs or repairs. With new construction, the price from the builder is pretty much set in stone. Less leverage for you.
Okay. Less flexibility on cost. And you mentioned it takes longer.
Yeah.
How much longer are we usually talking if someone's on a tight timeline?
Yeah, that's a huge consideration. It could easily take a year to build a new home, sometimes longer.
Early year.
Or more. Think about all the steps. Getting permits approved, the actual planning, laying the foundation, framing, roofing, then all the inside work. Plumbing, electrical, drywall, finishes.
Right. Lots of stages, lots of potential delays too, I imagine.
Exactly. Weather, material shortages, inspection. So if you need to move by a specific date, maybe for a job or schools, building can be really problematic.
Okay, so building gives you that amazing customization, maybe lower energy bills,
Hmm.
but you're looking at potentially much higher costs, less negotiation room, and a significant wait time. A lot to
That's
weigh up.
definitely a big trade-off.
So what if you need something sooner? Or maybe you want a bit more financial flexibility up front. That usually points people towards buying an existing home, right?
Precisely. And the number one pro there usually is the price.
Cheaper overall.
Generally speaking, yes. Buying an existing home is often going to be significantly cheaper than building from scratch.
And does that lower cost bring other advantages? Like negotiation?
It often does. That's a key takeaway. You usually have more room to negotiate the purchase price with the seller,
Okay.
and you might even negotiate for them to handle some repairs before you close. You just have more leverage in that kind of transaction. You don't really get that with a builder.
More power in the negotiation.
Hmm.
And thinking about David's family needing to move for that school district, speed is a big factor.
Absolutely. Buying existing is much faster.
How fast?
You can typically close within, say, 30 to 60 days.
Wow, compared to a year or more.
Exactly. So if
Yeah.
you have a deadline or you just want to get settled quickly, buying is usually the way to go.
And does saving money up front on the house itself open up other doors, like location-wise?
That's another really important point. By spending less on the actual structure, you might be able to afford a home in the location you couldn't otherwise.
Like a more desirable neighborhood, better schools.
Right. Or maybe an area closer to work, cutting down your commute. It allows you to prioritize location, perhaps, over having everything brand new. A trade-off lots of buyers are happy to make.
Okay, makes sense. But buying existing isn't all smooth sailing either, is it? There are downsides. What's the big one that comes to mind? Repairs, maybe?
Yep. Potential for repairs and maintenance is definitely a major con.
Especially in older homes.
For sure. The U.S. Census Bureau data shows that older homes, particularly those built before, say, 1950, tend to cost a lot more to maintain.
Because things are just wearing out.
Exactly. You're dealing with systems roofing, plumbing, electrical, HVAC that might be nearing the end of their lifespan. A new roof alone, Home Advisor estimates that's, around $6,200 to $8,400 on average?
Ouch. That's a big potential hit right there.
It is, and while a good home inspection should catch most major problems.
There can still be surprises.
Yeah, sometimes hidden issues like mold or maybe lead paint in really old homes might crop up later, even after an inspection. Adds cost, adds stress.
Okay, so potential repair costs are a big one. What else? I guess you don't get that perfect fit like with building.
That's the other side of the customization coin. Compromise.
Meaning,
Well, since you didn't design it from the ground up, it's pretty unlikely you'll find an existing house that checks every single box on your wish list.
right, the perfect layout, perfect kitchen, perfect yard, probably not going to happen.
Probably not. So you'll likely have to settle on a few things. Maybe the kitchen isn't quite your style, or you wish there was another bathroom, or the garden isn't ideal.
And you have to be okay with those trade-offs.
You do. For some buyers with a very specific vision, that can be tough.
And if the house you find is, well, a bit dated, those compromises can lead to needing updates, right? Which costs money.
Exactly. That's another potential con. If the house needs updating to fit your style, or needs maybe the kitchen's straight out of the 80s, or the bathrooms need renovating,
Those projects add up fast.
they really do. You look at something like Remodeling Magazine's cost versus value report. Even a mid-range kitchen remodel can easily cost $25,000, $35,000 or more.
And you don't always get all that money back when you sell, do you?
Often not, no. You might only recoup a percentage of it. So you absolutely need to factor those potential renovation costs into your budget before you buy.
Right. Don't just look at the purchase price. Look at the total cost to get it how you want it.
Absolutely crucial.
Okay. So we've broken down the pros and cons for both building and buying. It's a lot to think about. It can still feel pretty overwhelming, maybe even stressful.
It definitely can. It's a massive decision. But the key thing our sources really highlight is this. Having options is powerful.
Options give you power.
Exactly. And my advice, based on everything we've looked at, is to actively explore those options.
Don't just fixate on one path.
Right. Go look at different building lots, even if you're just thinking about it for the future. Visit various existing homes. walk through different neighborhoods.
Get a real feel for things.
Yes, because when you actually see and compare these different options, the pros and cons become much clearer, much more real. It makes it way easier to figure out what truly works for you, your budget, your life.
That makes a lot of sense. And, homeownership, when you're financially ready and you feel like you've made an informed choice, it really can be so fun, so rewarding.
Absolutely.
Remembering that you have options, that you are in control of the decision-making process,
Right.
can take away a lot of that stress. Helps you land on a choice you'll be genuinely happy with.
Well said. So maybe the final thought to leave everyone with is this. Considering that both building and buying have these clear pros and cons we've talked about, what are the deeper implications?
Beyond just the money and the move-in date.
Yeah. How do these choices really affect your long-term lifestyle, your financial goals down the road? Is it purely about the numbers, or does that emotional connection to making a place truly yours play an even bigger role than we realize? Something to think about.